Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Branding Banter, your promo podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. I'm Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA.
And I'm Meg Gerber, Director of Sales at Performa.
And Stephen McFadden with TSC.
And Sarah Goshkin, owner with Sales.
Awesome. What is that all about? Hold on, there's another person in here. What's going on? Sarah, why don't you sort of tell us a little bit about yourself? You got 90 seconds. You're on the clock, and you're going to be joining the podcast as a permanent fourth chair.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks to you guys. I'm super excited to be here and join this fantastic crew. I am the National Sales Manager at Stalls, and prior to that, I've been at SOC 101. I've been at Order My Gear, Logo Mark, and then I've been on the distributor side of the business. So kind of unique, very like unicornish, if you will, inside of this industry of that I've truly have just been about a part of everything. So distributor, supplier, service provider, and then now on the decorating side of things. So outside of work and promo, if you will. So I'm sure you guys will all get to learn more about me, but into sports and fitness and good tequila, and I have kids, and I like to travel. So it's a little snapshot about me.
I hear you may have some b-ball skills as well. Is that true?
Just a few. Once a year I got to pull them out, which is fun. So love Reese Mom, and he gave me a great nickname of Sarah Buckets. So if people forget my name, you can always just refer to me as Buckets.
All right, that'll work.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that was a great introduction. And before we launch into the topic today, this broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Bell Promo. They're an award-winning supplier with an ever-expanding range of branded merchandise sold exclusively through their strategic network of promotional product distributors. Known and respected for the deepest inventory in the industry, Bell Promo also leads the way in innovative decoration methods, exceptional turnaround time, and low 12-piece minimums. While they've made their mark by offering the largest selection of drinkware of any single supplier, Bell Promo continues to expand their offerings, including writing instruments, notebooks, awards, backpacks, travel accessories, apparel, and headwear. To better serve their distributor partners, they warehouse and decorate their merchandise in a state-of-the-art 350,000 square foot facility where over 800 passionate Bell Promo employees don't meet expectations, they exceed them. So at Bell Promo, their shared goal is to provide their distributor partners with every possible resource to support their efforts and help their respective businesses thrive. And yes, you can Bell Promo that. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring today's episode. And with that being said, why don't we launch into today's topic? We're going to talk about concert merch. I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit with our Taylor Swift episode. But that was very niche and exclusive to her, and how she basically, does her own thing and is just a big boss lady. But we're going to talk about everything else, the category in general as a whole today. So who wants to kick things off?
I'll kick it off. I mean, we first off, this is being recorded obviously week before it goes out, and I'm a Swiftie. So last night when we were driving to Maine, she dropped 2 albums. That is unheard of. And that's all I'm going to say. But let's talk about it. Coachella's coming up. Have you guys been seeing everything on TikTok? I think that's just so big right now. Coachella is like, I feel like I've never been to it, but I've just only heard about it. And it's supposed to be like the bee's knees of concerts, right? Like everybody get bee's knees. I'm so old. Who says that?
So hold on. Before you go to that, I've got a comment about your 2 album drop thing. Are you really dropping 2 albums if you drop them at the same time, or is it really one expanded?
One at midnight and one at 2 a.m.
It's the same damn thing.
No.
Not if it's 16 songs.
Right?
People that bow down
Give her credit.
Need to just stop. All
like,
right.
when does she find time to record albums? Like, not 1, but 2. Anyway, I don't want to take up the whole podcast.
Well, and touring, right? Like all at the same time.
Well, so, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of time on a bus or a plane that is used for,
sleeping.
Who sleeps?
There you go.
There
you go. Well, Coachella just happened, right?
Yeah, it just happened.
It did? Okay, oops, missed it.
So I know, like, I mean, and like I've been to ACL the last few years. I feel like my first introduction, we're kind of broadly all around the same age, was like Lollapalooza back in the day. And I don't really remember merch at all. But if you've been to any of the festivals lately, like they have dedicated tents that are like size of football fields just for merchandise that are specific to Coachella that have like the lineup, for example. But then they have their own band merch tents also, right? Like, so if you really don't love the entire lineup, but you really love an artist that's there, now you have your artists that have their own merchandise. So, which is crazy. It's just
Yeah.
become such a market.
And when you were at the ACL, and there's one on the beach every year. I think it's in Atlantic City. The country music festival is like 3 days long. The whole first football field is all merch. And the number one thing that I saw, even at the country concerts, was just apparel. But you're seeing other things too, but like buttons, but mostly t-shirts. And I know I'll talk about it in a little bit, like this amount of the increase that has come across the last couple of years. And, in the average, I was trying to say the average price of a concert t-shirt. So it was $32, and now it's gone up to around $35 in recent years, but the prices generally range between $25 to $39. So do you guys know, by any chance, which genre has shown to lead in like several categories for the highest like dollar per head, highest average attendance, and the highest percentage of fans buying merchandise?
It would be
for merchandise specific.
I'm sorry, what?
For merchandise or for like goers and stuff?
Well, yeah. So all of it. So this one genre actually has like led all categories. So
K-pop.
not only, yeah.
I was gonna say hip hop. Yeah.
No, K-pop.
K-pop. I don't know what the difference is, K-pop to any other pop, but it's just pop music.
It's Korean.
Oh, is it?
That's what the K stands for, Meg.
K is for Korean.
So thank you. So
I'm so old.
sorry.
I'm sorry. I can't. We've lost you in the carpet behind you, Meg. The red is just it's a big blend there. So yeah, Korean would be the difference.
So what's that one band? What is that one band that I hate you all?
BTS.
What is that? Yeah, they're huge. They're huge. I was actually working with a printer over the last couple of years that was doing a lot of their merch, and I kept saying BTS. I was like, damn, like hundreds of thousands of dollars of merch. Anyway, so aside from that genre, do you know what the second largest one was?
Pop.
Rock.
Country. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
One of us has misinformation then.
Probably you. Considering you didn't even know what K-pop was.
Well, actually, I guess K-pop could have been thrown into pop in this genre thing that I have.
That's
would make sense then. Yeah.
Yeah. You touched on it, Meg. I'm so surprised about cost, right? Like of the merch. Like $85 for hoodies. And we're all in the industry. We know, what the average cost is to make a sweatshirt, and it's unbelievable. A sweatsuit, like $150, and a hat with just a direct-to-film transfer on it, $35.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that unbelievable in my opinion, just because when you look at the price of retail, like you go to buy a hoodie in retail, you're going to spend $50 probably, so the extra $10 is a part of the experience because you're paying, they got to pay the merchandise hall or the concert hall or whatever, their share and all that good stuff. So it's not that far-fetched.
It's not. And with that being said, I have a rule in my house, just because I've been selling apparel for the last 10 years, that nobody is allowed to buy blank apparel anywhere. Like if it's at a concert and there's a memory attached to it, fine, I will splurge. I love that whole return on emotion thing. I have a very cool tank top. I went to a concert and it was like Dirk Bentley, John Party, and somebody else. But John Party wasn't even like the main guy, but his tank top was the coolest one. Spent $35 on it. Bella Canvas tank top.
I mean, I'm not completely surprised though, because I mean, the thing that you had mentioned, we talked about rising prices and stuff like that. And Sarah, the link that you sent to us for the Coachella article, it talks about, back in 2015 when they switched to a 2 weekend format, how essentially, they sold out in like under an hour, and it was like the fastest, made record or history or whatever. And ever since then, it's kind of been slightly downturning. And I don't even think they sold out this year, maybe, or it took a lot longer or something. But with obviously the cost of everything lately, and people's having less, or most families having less
Discretionary.
discretionary income. How do you think that kind of stuff is affecting concert going, first of all, and then the overall sales? Anybody have an opinion on that?
I know ACL, like I already put our name on the list, right? Like when tickets came out, and it really became like an experience for the kids. But what was interesting, and I think of like millennials or Gen Y, and maybe millennials will prove me wrong here, but the Taylor Swifts and paying of how much it was to go to a Taylor Swift concert. And so much so that people are like flying to Australia or other countries because there's a cap on how much you can resell your tickets for versus here in the US, right? Like it's uncapped. So you saw $4,000 per seat tickets, or Adele, like that was another one too, right? So for me, from a return on emotions and my return on investment, to be able to go for 3 days to see all of those different artists, like sign me up, right? Like I'd rather pay the $300, $400 for the ticket to go do that. But do I love the fact that I'm standing up for 2 hours and having to like tranche through 100,000 people to try to go to a porta potty? I don't love it.
No.
But for my experience with like my Gen Y or children, I'm all in for it.
Yeah, I ended up getting tickets once to Justin Bieber for my daughter. We were actually just talking about this last night, and I thought, I don't remember even how I got the tickets. It wasn't crazy. I mean, it was crazy back then, but like not like it is now, where you're just refreshing screens and hoping that you make it in. Someone said to me, "Make sure you bring earplugs," and I was like, "What? I've been to concerts before." No, make sure that you bring earplugs. The 100,000 tween girls shrieking, it does something to your eardrums. I literally couldn't hear for a week. It was insane. And the amount of merch and the signs and everything, it was crazy. But these little kids, and I feel like they're the ones that are buying most of it, right? Because what's cool, right? That you went to this Taylor Swift concert, or you went to this Justin Bieber concert. Hey, that's the coolest thing. You were the lucky one that got to go. And then now you have to represent. What did you buy? What did you go that represented that you went there? So people are always going to be looking for that T-shirt with the coolest design. I don't necessarily like the ones that have like the whole lineup on it, because I can buy those from the guy that in the parking lot selling them for $10, right? Like I like when there's something more intentional, messaging, or something that really resonates with me. But that's just me. Steven, you look like yeah, I know. I could tell by your face. I wanted to stop talking.
There are a couple things I think that have led to more revenue at these things too, specifically with Coachella. So Coachella started as a single day event, and then in 22 it became a 2-day event. 2007 it became a 3-day event. 2012 it became a 2 back-to-back set weekend 3-day event thing. So it went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 6 days of merch being able to be sold, concerts going on. And then each of those days you've got the venues going from like 1 p.m. to like 3 a.m. So with merch tents open for 3 days of like trapped audiences with 10 different stages. So I mean, you're talking about the frequency of, like if you need something or want something, like it's gonna be so inconvenient to leave, right? So you're gonna buy everything you're gonna buy right there, so you don't miss your place or your setup or whatever. So when you have 6 days of a captive audience, music festival revenue is just insane. There are some stats specifically on music festivals. So concert average goers between all concerts from 19 to 22, the average per person was very low, like $8.85.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you look at festival going average per spend, it's $344 a person. So I mean, you got to think that has a lot to do with being a trapped audience, right? And then the number of people. So it's a ton of merchandise in that industry. Music merch on its own according to 2019 data, was $3.5 billion. So it's a lot of revenue in that space for sure.
Absolutely. You know what else I was thinking of? What are going to be some of the trends that kind of drive the concert merch, and where is it heading? And one of the things I actually saw was where the augmented reality experiences, where someone took a QR code that when you scan it, it would actually show exclusive content or a virtual performance from the artist. So I thought that was really neat. I would like to see more of that. I think back in the early 2000s when QR codes first hit, they were big and then they disappeared, and now they're being utilized in so many unique, case studies, I guess. But that in particular, I mean, going to
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah, thanks, COVID. And that was something that actually put a damper on concerts for a while. I don't know if you have any statistics on that or not, Stephen, but I know that was something that really dampened for
augmented reality or just in general?
Well, no, COVID, what COVID did.
Yeah, I don't have any pre and post COVID comparisons. I will touch on augmented reality because augmented reality, I think we actually talked about it early days in our podcast, and we weren't even new when we were talking about it then. It's actually a fairly, I guess, by technology standards, old technology. It was just so hard to implement because you always had to download an app, and the size of the files to do that was so massive. It was just so inconvenient to use. And that was very similar to QRs. You had to have a QR reader. Well, now it's like all the phones can just pick it up. And so it's so much easier use. So I'm interested to see what that does. I'm not all the way in on if augmented reality will have that same capacity unless it's just HTML based, which as opposed to it being something you have to download. But it's exciting. There's a lot of new things. I am curious to know like the quality of stuff coming out of concerts, because I feel like the quality has been the same for like decades. It's always been like a cheap shirt with a bunch of print and you still pay whatever you want for it. Like, will that eventually turn? Will it eventually be fashion merch and more custom designer things, or what? So
well, I think it depends on. I know we're out of time, but I remember when Harry Styles had his world tour and then it was canceled because of COVID. He was buying Champion hoodies and then reselling them on his website. So he was buying brand names, but for the most part, I'm seeing the Gildan 5,000, 2,000, Tech t-shirt, something basic. But I would, but then again, at the John Party concert, I had a Bella Canvas t-shirt. So I think
I was going to say, can't we spend $1 more and get a better shirt? I mean, it's $1. People.
Thank you.
You're selling the damn thing for $35. Give us an extra $1 worth. You
got 300% margin. Take a 295% margin and get us a better piece.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. Buy Bella.
You might know an apparel person that you could talk to, like me.
There you go.
Or even Sarah. Sarah's in the apparel aspect of things now. Decoration.
Yeah.
But do you guys have anything else?
Well, I think we should use 90 seconds to play a game, Meg.
Let's do it.
Well,
you got some questions for us, right? Or was that part of your...
I kind of went into them. I think Steven's our question guy. Steven, you always have some quizzes.
Putting him on the spot.
I know. He always has stuff.
After you said you were prepared for it.
Well, I was. Steven talked about him because I was going to be the average dollar amount. Which
did I ruin it?
You didn't know.
Okay.
Right. Industry average. What are the top three
I've got some
sold as much?
Okay.
T-shirts.
Yeah, that's number one.
Like a crew neck or a hoodie, I would still think in an apparel
that's
category.
Number three. Hat is number two.
Hat.
Nice.
Yeah.
That changes a little bit per genre, though. Like country, I was kind of surprised to see that they do a koozie, T-shirt, koozies, and hats.
They like their canned beer.
I think it depends too upon like which festival, right? Like, and what's going on. Like, I had talked to Michael Williams, who went to Coachella from AZX, if you guys don't know him, and he had told me, he was like, bandanas, because you didn't realize how dusty it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they all sold out. Like, that was the item that sold out because people didn't realize and they weren't prepared. Or, during the day, they were like nothing. And then at night, they need the $85 to $100 sweatshirt because it's freezing cold. And they came to the concert wearing, a thong.
Yeah, interestingly, like product wise, like, bandanas, hats, sunscreen. I mean, things like that you may or may not think of as promo, but you just find out you need.
Yeah. All right, Steven, you got one more question for us or one more quiz?
No, I was going to do the top product categories.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Aw.
Oh, the
Hey,
same
but you know
thing.
what? We're out of time, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, this was a fun episode for sure. So Sarah, thank you for the recommendation, and
Yeah.
Maggie,
Well,
Stephen,
I
thank
This
you
think
was
guys.
awesome.
we want to get into, Stephen, you brought it up. What else was it? Was it content?
Content
Yeah,
creator
so
merch.
interestingly enough, a lot of the data about concert merch and things like that. Then there was a lot of stats and statistics on content creators and content creator merch. There's a huge wave of all sorts of content creators, and now they've obviously they've been capitalizing on merch for a long time, and the numbers on it are pretty crazy. So I think we should dive into that at some point and talk a little bit about that wave of promotional sales in a different way we haven't talked about before. So
And
Well,
not
I
in
mean,
a
we kind of need to take advantage of that ourselves because I think Meg is in the bedroom again today.
Bedroom Meg
bedroom
shirt.
in the house.
You know?
Yeah, that's how it is. So it's where the Wi-Fi is. It's closest to the Wi-Fi extender. So here we are.
Fair enough. Well, listen, this episode is brought to you by good friends over at Bell Promo. They're an award-winning supplier of an ever expanding range of branded merchandise sold exclusively through their strategic network of promotional product distributors. Known and respected for the deepest inventory in the industry, Bell Promo also leads the way with innovative decoration methods, exceptional turnaround times, and low 12-piece minimums. While they've made their mark by offering the largest selection of drinkware of any single supplier, Bell Promo continues to expand their offerings, including writing instruments, notebooks, awards, backpacks, travel accessories, apparel, and headwear. To better serve their distributor partners, they warehouse and decorate their merchandise in a state-of-the-art 350,000 square foot facility where over 800 passionate Bell Promo employees don't meet expectations, they exceed them. At Bell Promo, their shared goal is to provide their distributor partners with every possible resource to support their efforts and help their respective businesses thrive. And yeah, you can Bell Promo that and tell them that the branding banter sent you there. Go check them out. And yep, Meg, you got something to say, and then we're going to close it. Hurry up.
You almost said industry insider, didn't you? You almost said it.
You know, I thought about it for a second, but I did not. So thanks for reading my brain. You know, it's all good there.
I know them a little bit. I know them a little bit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you and your tinfoil hat there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. See ya.